Hello, everyone. We'll give the others a few minutes to log on. We'll start in about 1 to 2 minutes. Okay, hello, everyone, and welcome to our webinar. My name is Danielle, and I'll be your host for today's session. So we're really excited to have you here with us as we dive into the world of ERP and explore how Dynamics 365 Business Central can take your company to the next level. But before we get started, I want to introduce you to today's presenters. So first up, we have Miguel. He's one of our business development managers here at Davin. He'll give you a brief intro to Davin for those of you who are new, followed by a short overview of Dynamics 365 Business Central. Next, we have Deandra. She's one of our business analysts here at Davin, and she'll be managing what you really came here for, our demo. She'll guide you through common purchases, common sales processes, and highlight some really cool features of Business Central that sets it apart from other ERP solutions on the market. Helping here today will be Nicholas, one of our senior business analysts, and he'll be answering your questions in real time in the meeting chat. And finally, there's me, Danielle. I am the marketing specialist here at Davin. So you can use the meeting chat at any time during the event to ask your questions. We'll address them throughout the session, and if a question requires a bit more detail, we'll save it for the end so we can spend a bit more time to give you a more thorough answer. Also, please know that today's session is being recorded and we'll send to all attendees in the coming days. So now, without further ado, I'll hand you over to Miguel. You guys enjoy the session.
All right, pleasant morning, everyone. As Daniel would have mentioned, my name is Miguel Zambrano. I'm a business development manager at Davin. So just want to take you through a quick overview of who Davin is, the type of companies that we help, and then probably shed some light on Business Central before Deandra takes it away. So Davin has been around for 20 to 24 years now. We do one thing and we do it really well, which is implement all-in-one business management software that helps companies to transform their business. So there are several solutions out there and several partners out there, but we'll tell you why our companies decide to call Davin, the main reasons why they call us. So let's jump straight into it. All right, so these are the four main reasons why companies would contact Davin. One, when you have old technology that is limiting your business growth and you want to take things to the next level in a competitive environment or situation, and your current solution just doesn't give you that flexibility that you need, they reach out to Davin. When they are tired of having data from multiple sources and it becomes a stress and a headache to have to consolidate that data and then try to report on it collectively. When they're frustrated by manual processes and abundance of paperwork that makes reporting one, erroneous and also untimely. And finally, when they're looking for all-in-one business management software that could manage their business today and take them into the future. Right, so at Davin, we offer several solutions. Of course, the primary focus will be on ERP today, but I'll just touch over the other offerings that we do provide. So business applications, Microsoft Power Platform. So that's a software solution by Microsoft that enables us to create custom applications for companies when an off-the-shelf solution is not readily available. Then there is Dynamics Business Central that we're going to touch on today, a all-in-one business management software that covers a lot of key business functions, regardless of whatever industry you operate in. For example, finance, inventory, sales, purchasing, warehousing, and so forth. And then we have LS Retail, which is an add-on / extension that adds additional functionality to Business Central for retail clients. So to get that point of sale functionality and e-commerce, plus the strong backbone of Business Central. We also offer cloud computing services, which would fall under the Microsoft Azure space. For those of you who are not familiar, Microsoft Azure is Microsoft's cloud solution. Many services fall under it, including cybersecurity, storage and hosting, backups and redundancy, and so forth. Under data analytics, the one you would probably notice there would be Power BI. So we have a team that specializes in implementing these solutions so that you can move your data into visuals that give you insight that you wouldn't have prior to seeing those videos. It gives you clarity and it drives you to make more data-driven decisions. Under productivity and collaboration, we have Microsoft 365. Some of you or many of you probably already use those products. It includes Outlook, PowerPoint, Word, Microsoft Teams, and so forth. Business Central plays well with all of the Microsoft products. It's one ecosystem. Once you go with Business Central, you need not go elsewhere. And under security and compliance, Microsoft Defender, Azure Active Directory, and so forth. So why Davin? Let's jump into that. So one, we are genuinely interested in the success of your business. We are very humble enough to recognize that our success is pegged to our client's success. So therefore, we do every single thing within our power to ensure that every implementation brings about the results that were guaranteed from the beginning. We have happy and referenceable customers. Again, once an implementation is done and the implementation is successful, we call on our customers to ask them to be referenceable. So it's twofold. We give you what you want, and if you're happy, customers will continue to work with us, and they'll be happy to spread the word about Davin. 3, we are the largest and most experienced team in the Microsoft Dynamics space in this region. And this region includes the English-speaking and also the Dutch-speaking Caribbean region. We are 80 plus people strong, and that's massive for this region and even in some parts of the America for a Microsoft Dynamics partner. We are a one-stop shop for small to mid-sized companies. As you see it before, we cover a lot of the core Microsoft solutions that most businesses need and require, and small to mid-sized companies, meaning companies that are not multinationals, which would be most of the companies in the Caribbean region. We are flexible and easy to work with, so we work with companies where the English is not their first language, and as such, we make provisions to ensure that both parties get along and to ensure that project deliverables are met. And of course, we operate with customers who operate in different time zones. So we do the needful to get the job done. And of course, one of the main things that we are really good at is solving difficult or complicated problems. That's why clients choose us above anyone else. And we are straightforward. If we can't help you, we'll point you in the direction of someone who can. So a bit about Davin from an organizational structure standpoint. Showing you this because I want you to know clearly that Davin is not a one-man show. There's a team that supports the implementation, and that's the reason why we continue to grow from strength to strength. And that's why we can support small companies, groups of companies, and so forth. So we have a human resource team, sales and marketing team that I am part of, your ERP team, and ERP would be both Business Central and our next ERP we support, which is Dynamics GP, one of the older Microsoft solutions. There's the Power Platform team, our cloud team and finance, and of course at the bottom is our chairman and director of strategy, Derek Villeneuve. He supports the entire team, giving them what they need to continue to service clients. So this is just a snapshot of some of the regions we cover. Some of the regions are not highlighted, but I'll just mention a few. So you have Belize, we have Jamaica, we have clients in Turks and Caicos, we have Bermuda, we have clients in Grenada, Guyana, Dominica. Just leave that up there for 2 seconds, and we'll move on to a snapshot of some of our customers. So as you can see, we work with companies in different verticals. So you can see some of our retail clients, Home Store, Detour, Dan Steel, Pennywise, as well as clients in petroleum industry, Unipet, supermarket clients. We have Westmall. We have distribution companies like Dairy, finance companies like Eastern Credit Union. So we work with companies in almost every single industry. So a little bit about Business Central. So Business Central is the key ERP that Microsoft is pushing for small to mid-sized companies. Again, most companies in this region would fall under that bracket. The main edge that Business Central has over all the other competing products would be that Microsoft's aim is to make all of your back office processes as efficient as possible so that your focus can go back to one, your customers, and two, maximizing your data so that you can use that data to make more strategic decisions. So here you will see a light touch in terms of the different modules that are covered by Business Central. As you could see, this number states 30,000, but latest stats, it's about 40,000 people thus far that have migrated to Business Central. And Business Central, from an independent survey from Forbes Advisor, was rated the best ERP solution for 2024 and also 2023. So I'll just cover the modules before we delve into what you're really here for. So if you look here, there are two versions of Business Central. So there is the Essentials version, which covers about 90% of what you're seeing on your screen. So everything from your finance and accounting, sales and marketing, all the way to inventory, supply chain, project management, and so forth. So the premium version of the application gives you everything here, plus service management and manufacturing. And before we conclude, just want to talk about why migrate to the cloud. So Business Central is a fully cloud solution. Some people might be cloud averse, but there are many benefits in terms of going to the cloud. And for those of you who may not already know it, a lot of the applications that you use and give access to your information are on the cloud. Online banking is on the cloud. Social media is on the cloud. Business Central is no different, just with a lot more security around it. So one, a benefit of being on the cloud, you're always on the latest version of the application. What that means for you is you no longer have to worry about product obsolescence. So we know many times customers might implement a solution and then 5, 7, 10 years down the road, you're studying about upgrading or looking for a next application. Once you're on the cloud version, updates are a non-issue. No more infrastructure management. That means you don't have to worry about buying a server or staying compliant. Microsoft takes care of all of your storage as well as your security. You could work seamlessly with all the other Microsoft products. You can send a PO for approval. A manager can easily pull out their mobile device and approve or deny that PO via Microsoft Outlook. Work from anywhere, anytime. Regardless, so regardless of wherever you are in the world, you can work on your mobile device, your tablet, and so forth. One, you can extend the out-of-the-box functionality of Business Central, taking advantage of Microsoft Business Marketplace called AppSource. So before we spoke about Microsoft having an all-encompassing ecosystem. So what that means, regardless of whatever industry you're operating, Business Central will give you a strong core. But let's say you're in the case of a retailer where you need retail-specific functionality, then there's LS Retail, which is a robust solution for retail-specific functionality. And you have so much different other verticals that are covered from the app source. So you never have to go anywhere. All your needs are covered either in the base ERP or from the app source market, and those applications work seamlessly with the core product. Scalable platform that grows with the needs of your company. So customers could start with basics like financials and inventory, and then add on additional functionality as the need arises. And of course, you could leverage the power of AI using Microsoft's Copilot capabilities. So before we spoke a lot about efficiencies, AI will help you to make your sales orders, your purchase orders, and even your bank rec a lot more efficient and faster process by helping you to match those documents, use it on your bank rec. So that's it for my portion, and I will hand you over to Deandra.
All right, thank you, Miguel, for that introduction. So I am Deandra, and I'm a business analyst at Davon, and I'm going to share my screen to give you a snapshot and a lovely demo of what Business Central has to offer. So as Miguel said, I am going to show you Business Central SaaS, which is a cloud-based application that's hosted by Microsoft, and it's tailored to the modern and dynamic business environment, which is your business, right? So what you see here is as you log in onto Business Central, this is what you see. We call this the homepage or rule center of Business Central. And what I mean by rule center is that it is tailored to the roles and functions that you perform in your organization. So it is becoming more personal to you as an employee in an organization. So you can navigate between role centers. So say if I'm an accountant and I have to navigate to another role center, I can do that. So I can do that by going onto settings, my settings here, and I'm on the business manager role center. So I can select an accountant and I will select OK, and I will have the accountant rule center. Now, by default, Business Central gives you out of the box rule centers with different features on it, and it will be tailored and suited to you. So, seeing that I'm on the Business Manager's Rule Center, on top here, I have action tabs or action pages that I can use for easy access. So if it is I want easy access of my customers, I could just simply click on it and I get easy access of my customer listing here, right? So let me take you back to the home page. Now I can personalize my home page. So if I'm an accountant and I have an assistant coming in and I don't want them to see certain items on the home page, I can personalize it to suit by simply going to personalize and say I want to hide my charts of accounts or general journals or even hide the purchase order page. I can do that by simply clicking hide and I can hide it. If I need to move around certain actions on my page, so say I want my Shopify to be at the end, I can do that too as well. It doesn't stop there. I can scroll down and I have activities. So once I see this red triangle, I can make certain movements and personalize my page to suit. Once my personalization is done, I can select done and everything is set on my home page. So it has that customization or configuration for you, tailored to your needs on what it is you want to see. If you want easy access, so take for example, you want to see, so this here is a snapshot of what's going on in my business. So if it is I want to see the sales for this month, I can see that on the outset and I can drill down to see what makes up that value. So you are seeing basically all these invoices make up that value. And it gives you the customer name, it gives you all the dollar values for each invoice. So you can drill down and get more information when you click on these items. And scrolling down further, these are called cues or tiles. You can simply double click on it and it will take you to the page that you want further information on. So it's easily accessible, user friendly, and it's no pun intended, it's very dynamic. So I am going to take you to the life of an organization, the life of a business, what it means to purchase the item, receive the item, sell the item to the customer, collect payments from my customers, pay my vendors, and ad hoc reporting. But before I take you to do that, there's a nice feature that Business Central have that is geared to marketing. So when I go on my items, as you can see, it's just one click of a button here because it's on my home page. I have my items list here. Here I have my fact box. It's called a fact box where I have high level information on my items. Now, if I want to drill down to my items, there is a new feature that Business Central offers for marketing where I can ask Copilot, which that is the AI, to draft up a nice little basically description of my item. So as you can see, it have a lot of wording on this. Now, if it is I want the tone to be a little more casual, I can ask Business Central or Copilot to do that for me by simply clicking on casual and regenerate, and it will automatically regenerate the wording. You can draft whatever it is you would like for your marketing. Now, it says get ready to pedal into the future with our 2004 model, the Red Hot Ride. I think this is a good tagline. I don't need to put more information on it. That might capture my customers in terms of when they are looking at the e-commerce side of the application. So I can simply go onto the format and say tagline, regenerate, and it will regenerate and it will just have my tagline and select keep it. And this is my new marketing text. So this can be integrated with your e-commerce. So coming out of that and going onto my home screen, with ease of just one click of a button, I am going to start ordering items. So I'm a purchase manager and I'm ready to order items for my business. How I do that? By simply one click of a button, I go to purchase orders and boom, I'm on my purchase order listing here, right here. So I have created a purchase order here and I have selected my vendor. You can simply select a vendor by selecting the ellipses here and you have various number of vendor. You'll get a vendor list in here. So I have already selected my vendor, but I have not put in my items. So as a purchaser, I will like to add items to my purchase order. So I can select item. I will select you. So it comes up with a list of items here. So I'm going to select blendable plywood as my item, put in my quantity. I would like 2 of these. Let's put in my quantity here. Press enter. So as you can see, Business Central automatically pulls from the item card once you have set the cost of the item. So it pulls it in and my quantity to receive is 2. So I'm going to add another item. So I'm going to select item. You have the option of selecting different items here and you go on to item. So I'm going to select a brush nickel knob and put in the amount. So I would like 4 of the knobs from my vendor. And the pricing comes up. So I have a total pricing here. So further down, when I go on my purchase order, I have my invoice details. Now, if your customer is not operating in US and you would like it to be another currency, you have the option of changing that too as well. You also have the option of defining the location where you would like your goods to be shipped to. So if I change my location here, select location. I have my location code. You have the option of putting in which warehouse you would like your goods to be shipped to. So for now, I wanted to go to my default company address. And you have a pay to, so it will be the default vendor. But sometimes some vendors have a different vendor you can pay to or not, and you can select it here and it will give you the name. You can select the name of the different vendor you would like to pay to. So you have those options here. Now, when all is said and done, I'm ready to send my purchase order. So let me send it. So I'm going to send it. Aha. So I'm getting a message here that's saying this document can only be released when the approval process is complete. So this is a lovely feature that Business Central have. We have an approval process. So I've set up an approval process through Power Automate. When you select Power Automate, you can create your own approval workflow. So seeing that I've set up my approval workflow already, I want to request approval from my manager. So I am going to send an approval request. Once it sends my approval request, you'll see this grayed out. I also have the option to cancel it, but I don't want to cancel it. This approval request will go to my manager's inbox for approval. So see if my manager is on the road and I need approval right away, it will go to their inbox once they have access to their email. So while I'm waiting on that, I will just show you the different features that we have here on the side here. So this is what you call the fact box. Now, when you go on a page and you drill down to that page on a feature, you will see a fact box which shows high level information. So I have my vendor statistics here and it shows some information here of my balance, outstanding orders, etc. When you scroll down and have incoming documents, I could also attach documents. Sometimes you would like to attach the invoice. And so I will attach that when I get my invoice from my vendor to attach it with the purchase order. Um, Also too, there's some history on the vendor. So if it is that you would like to see like the last posted invoices from the vendor, etc., you can get that too as well. And also too, there is a line, purchase line details. So you can get to purchase line details as well. And it shows that I have a purchase document approval workflow. So I have gotten my notification that I have an approval. So I'm the manager, and this is what the approval looks like. So I've gotten it in my inbox saying purchase order approval request. So me as a manager, I have the option of approving this purchase order or rejecting it. So I'm going to approve it. And I can put a comment if I so need to, but in the interest of time, I will just say submit. So once I've clicked on submit, it will state my approval has been accepted. So I can go back to the application. You will see status is pending approval, but I have accepted it, right? So when you come out of your purchase order and you go back in, you will see status is released. So my manager has given me permission to go ahead and process this purchase order. So I'm going to release it and start posting it. Now, in the receiver process of things, so when the vendor ships my goods to my location, I can receive it here. So as you can see, it's stating my quantity to receive is 2 and my quantity to receive is 4. So if it is that my vendor has not delivered all my goods and some of my goods are in back order, so I only got 3 of the nickel knobs, right? And I still have 1 remaining. I can simply post this and I can receive it first. Right. So and once it's received, it will say quantity received is 2 because I collected 2 in hand and 3 in hand, and I still have that 1 to receive. But the quantity to invoice will be 4. So which means it's the full amount. So my vendor has the item, that one that is outstanding. So I can now post and do a receive and invoice one time. So this is good. So this error message is basically telling me that I need to enter the document number. So if you forget to enter the vendor invoice number before you post it, you can. Now these errors, you can send it to Teams if it is that you need someone like support to help you resolve these errors. You can share it to Teams. So I'm going to go back. Thank you for that. So I am going to go back and put in my vendor invoice number. So now that I've entered my vendor invoice number, I can proceed to do a post, receive an invoice. Select yes. So my purchase order has now turned into posted purchase invoice. Now, when I select find entries, this is giving me a snapshot of what is happening with on the accounting side. So it will go to find entries and it will show all the entries of my purchase order that has been updated. So as you can see, it's a foreign vendor. So it updated my foreign vendors account, and you can get your purchase retail exports, etc. These are the accounts that are being updated. You can also get your VAT entries and your vendor ledger entries, and you can see what is being updated. So it gives you a nice trail of what is happening on the accounting side. So that is basically how you do the purchasing process of Business Central. It's so simple, seamless, and easy. Now, let me take you to the sales process of Business Central. So I have my items. So I have received my items. I am ready to sell my items. So I'm going to go on my sales order process here. Go on sales order here, double click on it, and it will bring up all the sales orders that I have created but did not post. So I have a sales order already created here. I have selected my customer. And in the interest of time, I'm a sales manager. I have a lot of orders coming in from customers. I know this customer is a regular customer. So I will be like, hey, Copilot, why can't you can you just suggest the sales lines for this customer, because this customer is a regular customer and they always purchase the same product. So I can ask Copilot, what is the last invoice for this customer? So I can click on suggest sales line, type in last invoice from customer, generate it. So let's see if it will pull up an invoice for me. So I do have a last invoice that the customer would have done, and the customer is requesting the same items. So I can simply, depending on how much items they want, I can simply insert the item lines to my sales order. That is using the functionality of the AI of Business Central, which is Copilot, to generate my sales line. So this time around, they would like more of the nickel nubs, so they would like 4, and less of the blended plywood, so 1. So you could switch it around. As you can see here, my subtotals are being generated automatically, and when you scroll to the right, you'll see your quantity to ship is 4 and 1. So I'm ready to ship my goods to my customer. I have my invoice details here, and I have my shipping and billing. So my ship to, you have the default. If there's an alternate shipping address, I can state that too as well. But I will ship it to the default address. Once all is said and done, I can release this because it's ready to be shipped, and I can post it. And just like the purchase order, I can do a ship, or an invoice after, or I can do a ship and invoice. So once that is done, it takes me to my sales order, my posted sales invoice. And then I can find my entries here. So this is again is a lovely snapshot of what is happening with my GL accounts when I post. So you can see I sold to a domestic customer, and this is a retail sales item. So these are the accounts on my chart of accounts for my financials. So this is basically what the sales process of Business Central looks like. Now, I'm going to show you a lovely feature that you can use when it comes to like a marketing manager or even a sales manager can use to and even purchasing manager can use to do the analysis on. So I would like to see an analysis of my customers or even my item ledger entries, but I'm going to show customers. So take for example, this is a customer listing page, and me as the salesperson would like to know, or even management would like to know, who are my top customers? Who are the ones that keep coming to me and buying goods all the time? I can do analysis and ask Copilot or the analysis feature to generate that for me by simply going on analysis list here and typing show me or show top selling customers. So let's see what the analysis will generate for me when I put in that information. It might take a while. It is generating, so it's obviously going through my customer listing here. So these are my top selling customers, right? So Alpine Sky House is my number one customer. Now, this is the what you call the analysis view. This can be tailored to suit you in terms of how you would like to see your reporting. Now, everyone is familiar with Excel and pivot. You can go into pivot mode and you can start generating some reports on your own. You can put in the name. So like you can drag in the name of the group, etc. That's when it's in pivot mode. You can close off this. So I'm going to go back here, and you can also add in different things if you need to, and you can also rename it if you need to. So this is the analysis view of Business Central. Now, all the listings of the pages have this feature where you can analyze and make your own reporting on your own. So I'm going to go back to my customer. So I'm at the point where my customers start paying me for for the goods that they have received. So I am going to start registering my customer payments. And how you do that is I'm going to select my customer. So I'm going to select Alpine Ski House, which was for the customer. Select register customer payments, and you will see all the orders that I did. So Alpine Ski House has decided, okay, well, they would like to pay for one of the orders, and they will pay partially. So Alpine Ski House is going to pay me 1,000 for this order. So they just have a remaining amount of 275. I can put in the external document number here, which is customer. If it's an external document number, and I can post this. I can do two things. Before I post, I can do a preview posting of the payment to actually see how it's being updated, just like the purchase order and just like the sales order in terms of finding entries, and I can post my payments. Select yes to post. So this shows that I have a remaining, Alpine has a remaining of 275 to pay me. Now, when they reach to that point of they are able to pay me that 275, I can also go onto the cash receipt journal and type in or put in the payment information. So payment, you have a customer This is the customer. And I don't need to fill out anything else. I can allow the system to apply the entries for me. So it's on this, set to applies to ID. Select OK. And as you can see, it fills out the rest of information for me and it is applying to an invoice. So once that is applied, I can simply post it and select post. My journal lines have been posted. So I have registered this customer payment on it. So I can go to the customer and check the ledger entries and you can see what has been done. This is the payment that has been made on my on my customer ledger entries. And again, you can analyze your customer ledger entries to suit your needs if you need to. So that is how you accept payments from customers and you register it on your application. Now that I have payments from my customers, I can pay my vendors. And so how I pay my vendors, I can go on my search bar and select vendors. Go to my vendor listing here that I have here, and it comes up with my vendor listing here. I can select the vendor that I would like to pay to. So say it's first up consultants, right? Pay vendor, and it would take you to the vendor ledger entries with all the information that you are seeing here, right? So if it is that I would like to pay on this invoice here, I can select it and say create payment. It will take me to my template name, which is payment, batch name is bank, my starting document number, I have my posting date, and this can be changed too as well to suit your needs. You have your bank account. If you want to switch it up to another bank account, you can, and you have your payment type. Now, if it's a computer check you're paying your vendor to, you can simply put it here and your manual check if that's the case. So you can select OK. And once you select OK, the system brings up the payment journal for you and puts in the entry for you. The only thing that you'll need to do is do a payment method and select if it's a bank transfer or not. It's already being applied to the invoice itself, so I can post this and select yes. So my journal lines have been posted. Another way that I can pay my vendors is you have your payment journals and say that you have set your vendors in terms of priority. You know, sometimes you want to pay certain vendors first and other vendors after. You can set a priority on your vendor card. I can show you that quickly. Let me just show you that quickly on where you can set that. So I'm on my vendor here, right? And you can set your priority here. So this vendor is a priority 1, meaning that I need to pay this vendor first. So when I go back to my payment journals, I can go on to prepare, suggest vendor payments, and I can put in fill in the information. So I want them to use the vendor priority. So any vendors that have 1 on it, I want them to pay those vendors first. And I can set an amount as to how much should I have to be able to pay my vendors. So I will leave this 15,000 because I have 15,000 in the bank for now. And the only thing I'm going to do is put a starting document, which is pay 001. Select OK. And it brings up the vendor that has the highest priority for me because and these are the invoices that I would have done for this vendor. So that is a lovely way of being able to pay your vendors where the system automatically brings it for you. The name of the game is automate. So it is basically automating that information for you. You can set your payment method and you can choose which invoice you would like to pay, or in this case, you can choose all, and you can post it. You can do a preview posting before to see how your uh, accounts are being updated, and you can post it. So in this instance here, I'll just post to one. I can delete one and I'll just post it. Yes. So it shows that I can generate vendor payments if so need fit. So I've run through the purchasing process, the sales process to show you how to collect your payments from customers and pay my vendors. Now I would like to see some reporting my financials. So I'm going to show you the chart of accounts. So let's go to the chart of accounts. Now you don't need to type in everything. How you navigate the search is you can type in part of the whatever you're typing and it comes up seamlessly. So this is a default chart of accounts that Business Central offers. It is basically organized in a way where you have your begin total, your posting accounts, and you have your end total. It is grouped like into those sections. It shows your assets. Now, of course, those who are familiar with the chart of accounts know that you have your assets, your equity, your liability, income, cost of goods, and expense. So, seeing that I started doing transactions, I can view my chart of accounts and view my figures in my chart of accounts. So I did sales. I can view the sales that I've done, which will be this information here on my general ledger entries. And I could also do an analysis mode view of whatever I would like to see on my general ledger entries. I can see that I did a sale to my foreign customer here, and also too there was an order, and also to my domestic customers too as well. So I did a sale here and I did a payment for my domestic customers. So the transactions that I did, it shows up in the accounts part of the chart of accounts here, as you can see. So this is my chart of accounts. It is very simple. You can add accounts if you see fit by creating a new GL account, and you can switch around your accounts if need be to suit your needs and to see your financials. You can also filter on your chart of accounts. So these are the filtering options here. You can filter it by balance, also net change, depending on what you would like to see on your chart of accounts. Now that you have your chart of accounts, I can look at my reports. Now, Business Central gives you ad hoc reporting. You have your trial balance by period, detailed trial balance, and your irregular trial balance, which you're all are familiar with. Now, there is also a feature called the financial reports aspect of Business Central, which is a lovely feature. And it gives your accountant that capability of creating their own reports to give to management. So seeing that we have an income statement here. Now, what you're seeing here is default accounting reports that the system offers. You can use this and start editing this to suit your needs. So like take, for example, this income statement here. Say that I want to add a GL account to this income statement. I can do that by going on definitions, row definition, like no. and it will bring up all the accounting information that the GL accounts that I have selected here. So I would like to insert a new GL account in my income statement, and I can insert GL accounts. I can put in income. You could do a search and put on income. And I would like to insert my sales retail. Take for example, or sales raw materials. Take for example, export. You can insert any amount of accounts into your income statement. So you can create it and make it up to suit. Once you have inserted, you can go back and it will generate the figures. If there are figures on your chart of accounts, it will generate to suit. So that is one aspect of creating your financial report. Another aspect of creating your financial report is you can define your columns. So take for example, on the revenue financial report, I have net change, budget, variance. So how that is defined? That is defined on the column definition here. So I have made up these. So you have your column number and column B. You can choose, it can be numerical values too as well, depending on what suits your needs. You have your column header, net change, budget, you have variance formula, and you can set a formula there. So that is how you can make up your financial reports. Once all is said and done and you would like to present it to the board, you can do a print of it. Let's do a print preview. And this is my income statement. This is a default income statement. Or I can send it to Excel if I want. And it's right. And open up the file here. And I can send it to Excel here. So depending on how you would like to see your financials, you can use that too as well. So there are many other reports that you can use, or you can create your own reports that you see fit. Another aspect I would like to show some accountants are interested in is the bank reconciliation. So just as how in the beginning, as Miguel said, I can ask Copilot to do my bank rec for me. I don't need the Copilot to do, I don't need to do the bank rec on my own. I have my assistant. So when I go to my bank reconciliation here, I have my bank account information here, so I could select one. So on the left-hand side, I am seeing my bank statements, which is what I would have imported by using this import bank statements button here. So once I select that, and I have a bank statement that is in the same format as it could be a CSV file that is configured to be on the bank statement lines here, I can use that. And I have my bank account ledger entries here, which is basically all my entries that I would have done for this bank account. So I would like Copilot to match these two information to see if I have any matches. So I'm going to select reconcile with Copilot. And so Copilot has returned some matches for me. To match one of three and Copilot match two of three lines. I can ask Copilot, yeah, this is perfect. I want to keep it. And it turns into green, meaning that Copilot has matched it for me and I can post this if I so need to post it. So this is a nice way of Copilot using the AI to do bank account reconciliation. So going forward, so this is just touching the tip of the iceberg in terms of what Business Central can do. Business Central can do so much more. There is a manufacturing feature, there is the service management feature, etc. It is geared to your business needs. So I've showed you a snapshot of what Business Central can do. I've showed you the purchasing process, the sales process, collecting payments, receiving payments, sending payments to vendors, and ad hoc reporting. And so basically, that is all encapsulated into your business. So this is what it's all about, being dynamic. And I will take it back to you, Daniil, in terms of to ask any questions. That's it for me.
Thank you so much, Leandra. That was really, really well done. So, guys, we are opening up the floor now to any questions. Nothing is too complicated for us to answer. So, if there are any questions, feel free to ask them now. You can turn on your mic or you can type it in our meeting chat. So I guess, Deandra, your webinar was so great that no one has questions. So everyone, I guess, is just so super impressed.
I
Okay,
guess so.
so if you guys don't have any more questions, and you want to learn.
I have a question to ask.
Oh, sure.
I'm not sure if this was covered or not, and I'm not sure if this is even the correct forum to ask it, but how easy it is to migrate to this, to Business Central, if we have GP on premise. So Dynamics GP we have, and how easy it is to move across.
Hi, John. Nicholas here. I'll take that question. So Microsoft has actually made it significantly easy for us to do so. They have a migration tool that allows us to connect to your SQL database for GP and replicate the data from GP directly into Business Central SaaS, right? The tool does it all. It has the ability to also capture your historical ledger entries and populate it into a specific table so that you could always do auditing as well as reporting on your historical entries if needed. I have a couple links that I can send to you. So once I get that, I'll send it directly in the chat for everybody else.
Okay,
Great, perfect.
thanks.
Thanks, Nicholas. Okay, great. Do we have any more questions? Right, so we'll move on. So we're just about to wrap up, but if you guys have any questions or anything come to mind, or you want to know more about Microsoft Dynamics BC, you can scan this QR code and that will take you to a form. So that form is basically to capture some basic information and what date and time would work best for your meeting with
Hey,
us.
Danielle, before you close off, we have a question in the chat.
Okay.
Nicholas, would you like to turn on your mic if possible and explain to me the use case a bit more?
Yeah, good morning.
Morning.
I just wanted some clarification on the reporting. Initially, you said that there's an analyzer and an AI you could do analytical reports with. I was just wondering, is it possible to use AI to do financial reports, or is there a suite of financial report that accompanies the project?
So the demonstration showed the use of Copilot to analyze data on those pages that look like lists. This will be primarily used on your ledger entries pages. The main reason for this analysis you and Copilot in that scenario is to do ad hoc reporting based on those ledger entries. At this point in time, Microsoft does not have the capabilities with Copilot to generate your financial reports. That should be done using the financial reporting module that Deandra showed at the end. That module supports and has the capability for the end user to do complex formulas and define it the way you need it. So when you finish with this, the creation of the financial reports, it will then produce Excel or PDF version. Typically, we see people using the Excel version and then tailor that to their board reports. So when they go to the board, they will pull up the Excel on the PowerPoint and then do the presentation based on that. I will take Devi. Where can I access more details on the inventory module? If you have anything specific right now, I can answer it. Otherwise, YouTube has a boatload of videos from vendors all around the world that will give you all the information you would need on the inventory module. For Cheryl, can it facilitate support of ACH payments? On the payment journal page, we can configure the system to export payment entries on your journal to a text file that can then be imported based on the bank's standard to the ACH portal to initiate the ACH transfers.
Thanks, Nicholas. Davy, also, if you have specific information that you'd like to know, you can book an assessment with us, and our team would reach out to you to answer any specific questions when it comes to the inventory module. Okay, guys, it looks like that's it for questions. So again, feel free to scan the QR code if you have any questions or want to know anything about BC or any other solution that we facilitate. We'll be happy to chat with you. So until the next time, guys, you have a great day and a great week ahead, and take care.
Hi, everyone.